Hey, so I'm going to be walking you through how to use this particular component, which is called the proof sticky or social proof review. The reason why it's called social proof review is because I actually have a social proof review and I also do have a button on it. So it just works that way. All right. So here's a couple of things that you need to know. When you have copied this particular component after purchasing this particular component, you need to go ahead and you're going to see this. This is what you're going to see. When you see this, you can inject this into any portion of your project to review or to just create more credibility. That's why you can use this and to also increase the click-through rate. Now, for this particular component, the name is saying proof sticky here. That's the name when I first uploaded it, but you're going to be seeing social proof review. Now, you're going to notice in the control properties, you're going to be having a couple of labels, and these are dedicated sections. For the first one, you're going to have the main. Now, this main is going to control the entire component, the entire body of that particular component. Okay, so it's going to control the entire component, the entire body of the component. And here, you're going to be seeing that you have, when you click on the main, you're going to be having layouts. And the layout here is just about changing the direction. It's just like saying directions when you're designing in Framer. But here you can decide to choose horizontal. And if you choose horizontal, it's just going to layout, just go back to an inline style. And you can decide to just have it vertical, which you're going to have it like this. Now, the other thing you're going to notice is that you have the gap, you also have the background, the radius, padding, and then option to animate in or to not animate at all. And so here for the background here, you can see that you have the colors. You can change this to whatever you want. You can change this, right? So that's what you can do with the background color right here. For the radius as well, you can decide to play around with the radius. So you can see, you can just play with it whichever way you want. You also have the padding. At the moment it's set to 14, but you can do that, and you're going to see instances when you can actually change that. The other thing that you can do here is that you'll notice we have animate in or also animate out, and this would be when you're previewing your website for the very first time. When you load in your page, it's just going to animate. There's a very subtle animation there, which is pretty cool. You can decide to put that on or put that out. And the other thing you can do is you can decide to put radius, to put a border on this if you want to do that. For instance here, you choose the border color. Remember, you just got here by just going to the border here, which is a dedicated layout as well. And you can just decide to choose the color. Here you can see we have a different color here. You can decide to also choose the width. Okay. And you can also decide to choose, maybe you want it dashed, or you want it dotted. It depends on what you want, or you just want it double. So you all have this option depending on what you're creating and also the style that you are creating. That's how you can just choose this. You can just leave it on solid. So this is what you can do with that, with the border as well. And this is what you find in the main section. The other section here that you're going to have is going to be the button. And if you notice, we have display, we have the main, we have display, we have button and avatar. However, the display can actually change, because if we choose display, currently it's on button. We can choose to say none, so there would neither be button, or you can just say you want to have the rating, and there you can see that we have the ratings right there. But let's just go through the buttons. Here you have the buttons. You notice that you're going to be having the settings for the buttons as well. And when you click on that, you're going to be having the text for the button, the link to the button, how you want the button to open. If you're developing or you're coding, this is actually called blank new, putting this on a blank, on a new, whether you want that or not. Then you can also choose the variant of the button that you want, because I also created different variants here. Now, you also have the option to choose the background and the hover color, the radius, the padding, and whichever way you want that to be. Okay, so this is every single thing about the button right here. Okay, so you can change the text just for a demo. you can change that text to, you can just put that to on sale, and it would just change there. You can just put that to now selling, and you see that right there. Then if you decide to go to the font, you can decide to transform this to uppercase. You can see everything there. You can also change the font size to 14. You can see that there. You can also change the letter spacing. You can do that as well. So this is how you can choose a font, because there's also a dedicated font family that you can choose from. Arboreto, you can also do that. You can see that it's all picking that entirely. And the interesting part here is you can go back to menu and you can change it from vertical to horizontal, and it will just layer really looking nice. So let's put it back to this way. Now we are on the button. Now let's decide to say we want to change this from a button and we want to use a rating instead. And here, if we select the rating, you can see that we have the rating just right there. And the way this is designed is in such a way that it will automatically be responsive. For instance, if you choose a button, even while you are on the vertical layout, it will be responsive, filling the entire container. Now, this is why this is very interesting and why this is very good. Now, you notice when we go to button, you would have the button settings. But when you switch back from button to rating, you're also going to have the rating settings there. And when you click on the rating settings, you're going to see the rating value. And here you can reduce the value. You can see the value reducing, or you can actually increase the value. Okay, so you can just put this 4.5 at the moment. And you can change the text right here. You can change the text and say from trusted people. From trusted people. And you can just have that right there. So this is just how you can play around with this. You can decide to show half of the star if you don't want. So here we can just decide to show half of the star, which is the rating star, or we just say, yeah, we want it, or we don't want it. You can also see that changing right there. This is highly customizable. You can also decide to change the star color to whatever you want. That depends on what you want to build. And then another thing you can do is you can also play on the gap size here. You get that. You also have this when you're working with a button as well. So you can play around with the gap size. This is something you can actually do. It's very interesting. Now you can also, you also have the option to also play with the font here. So you can choose the type of font you want. You can play with the size of the font, play with the font, whichever way you want. You can just decide how you want to align this. Maybe you want it to be aligned to the center, or you want it aligned to the right. It all depends on what you actually want to achieve. Okay, now that is what you find on the rating. Okay, now when you go over to the avatar, here you have the options to add as many avatars as possible. Here you can keep adding and just keep adding and keep adding. Here we have 6 avatars already, but we decided to show only 3. You can increase this, or you can actually reduce it. You can reduce it. Now this is what you can do. You can also increase the size of the avatar. This is what you can also do. And then you can change the overlap, how you want it to overlap. Here you can just increase the overlap or just have it at 0. It depends on your preference. You can also play around with the border radius. That's also something you want to do. All right. So, and this show initials and all of this, these are going to be future builds that I'm going to include in this. But at the moment, you can decide to show the badge, which is the 50 you have there, or just remove it entirely. If you decide to show the badge, you can go ahead and choose the badge settings here. You can change this to 50 to, you can just change it to 50 to 19 plus. You can change the color of that to whatever you want to match the brand style that you create. Like I said, this is highly customizable, and you can actually use this to show credibility on your website. This is all about the social proof review, and I do hope you're going to like this particular component. We're still building more components, and the link to purchase this particular component is going to be in the description of this particular video. I do hope you're going to enjoy it. If you have any questions, or you purchase this particular component and you got stuck on how to do something, or you notice a glitch, just shoot me a message. and I would definitely respond to you. You can also drop a comment here if you want me to keep showing you some of the components that we've built. I would really love to do that for you. Until the next video I'm going to be showing you, it's just bye from now. Keep being awesome and continue creating. I'll see you guys in the next video.